to my channel. So I hope you're doing all well, hope you're staying safe, looking after your mind. I know I've spent the last like 10 days of my life making TikToks and uploading TikToks every day. That's how my quarantine has been going. So today I'm going to be doing a foundation review, which I've been so excited to film this. I ordered this foundation about a week ago. I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Wet n Wild Dewy foundation, which excites me so much because I have normal to dry skin. We're going to the end of winter, so it's not as dry as it usually is in winter. This is basically the sister foundation for the normal Photo Focus foundation, which I also have. I actually I don't want to say really dislike this foundation because I don't really dislike it. I have a love-hate relationship with this foundation. Normally I just use it for my makeup looks on Instagram when I know that I'm literally going to have it on for 20 minutes while I take makeup pictures and then rub it off. But I wouldn't wear it all day, mainly because it's so drying on my skin. Like, it clings so badly to my dry patches. It is renowned for smelling like paint as well, which is very true, it does. So I have the original one in the shade Soft Ivory, so I also got this one in the shade Soft Ivory as well. The tan has kind of come off, as you can see from like my last two previous videos. So I'm not as tanned as I usually am, so I can just about get away with this. And I'm going to be comparing the two. So I'm going to do one side of my face using the normal Photo Focus and then the other side using the dewy one, and I'm going to be doing a full 8-hour wear test as well. Normally I keep my foundation on, for example, if I'm on a night out or I'm doing something all day. I don't normally wear makeup all the time, especially like day to day, but if I am, it's normally on for about 8 hours. So hopefully that'll give you some insight into how well this foundation wears. Also, just one last little thing, I know my brows look different and I said this on my Instagram story, so if you follow me on there then I'm sorry for repeating myself. However, I had to go at soap brows for this look and it took me a good half an hour. I think I can just about get away with these brows, which is why I've kind of kept them on. So if they look a little bit different than usual, then it's because I did something different. It took me half an hour and there was no way I was going to wipe it off after taking half an hour on my brows. And without further ado, I'm just gonna roll on to my video. I don't know if you've noticed, but this is my second upload this week, so I'm pretty proud of myself because when was the last time I uploaded twice in 1 week? As I mentioned in my intro, these are both the same shades, as you can see, pretty much match my skin tone. But first, before I do anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face like I usually would. I'm just gonna follow the steps. I do this every foundation video and clarify this every foundation video, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do the steps that I usually would depending on whatever foundation I'm using. So firstly, step one, primer. So for primer today, I'm going to use this one from Primark. This is the PS Vitamin Primer. You would have probably have seen on this channel that I've used this quite a bit. I really like it. It's very hydrating for my skin as well. I also find that if, like, for example, a foundation is matte, like the original Photo Focus is, then using, basically, I think this goes without saying, but using a vitamin primer like this really helps to hydrate my skin and make it wear better. So I'm giving the original Photo Focus just as much as a chance as the new one as well. I want to mess up my brows that took half an hour. Okay, so now that my face is all nice and primed, I actually love that primer. It makes my skin feel really nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and open the brand new dewy foundation, and my first port of call is to see what it smells like, because as we all know, this one stinks like paint. So I'm just intrigued to see if this one smells any different. Oh, I mean, it's kind of got a little, it's got like a hint. Did I get some on my nose? It's got a hint of like paint to it, but this one has more of like a scented smell. Like, it actually smells quite nice. Now that I've primed my face, I'm gonna do one side of my face using the original and the other side with the dewy one, as I mentioned before. So I'm just going to take the original Photo Focus foundation and I'm just going to put this on this side of my face. I'm sorry, but best applicator in the world. And like I usually would, I'm going to take my Real Beauty blender and I'm just going to blend it in. Okay, I'm kind of dreading having to wear this all day because I need to go out and get some essential bits and pieces before anyone comes at me. This is what this one looks like. looks very matte on my skin. It's probably in approximately 2 minutes gonna sink into my dry patches. Probably the worst around my nose actually. So next up I'm going to take this one. I forgot to mention that this one does retail at the same price as the original. So this is only $5.95, good old drugstore foundation, and it has exactly the same applicator as well. I kind of wish that this has had like a pump or something, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. It definitely looks a lot more dewy just by like applying it on. I mean, like, obviously it's a dewy foundation, but you know, some foundations say they're dewy and don't perform. That was pretty much the same amount as I put on this side of my face, and I'm just gonna blend it in. Oh no! So this is the new dewy foundation side of my face. Definitely looks really nice and dewy. I absolutely love this. Coverage of the original Photo Focus is really good. It's kind of the same like coverage. It blends pretty much the same as this side as well, so there's no difference from that point of view. The only difference is the finish, which is what I expected anyway, since it's like a sister foundation. But overall, I really like this. Wanted to zoom into my face a little bit better so you can see. So this is the dewy foundation and this one is the matte foundation. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to do everything with my base that I normally would, just so that this is a fair review. So I'm going to take my Kiko Radiant Fusion powder, which if you've watched me for a while, you'll know is the only powder that I ever use because it gives like that dewy nice finish, and I've pretty much hit pan on it, but I've got 2 more in my drawer, it's fine. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to powder my face because this is going to be on for 8 hours, so we need to make sure that it stays in place. Now that my face is all set in place using that powder, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my base makeup off camera because I'm not going to bore you for 20 hours while I do my bronzer and highlighter, and then I will be right back. Bit like magic. Okay, so as you can see, that's my base makeup done. For bronzer, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Tawny, like I would always use. Highlighter, I used Soph X Makeup Revolution. For my blush, I used the Milani blush in the shade Luminoso. And finally, put it back in my drawer. For my mascara, I used the Revolution Big Lash Mascara. I actually really like this mascara. I know I've mentioned this a few times, but it's pretty much a winner for £6. So now that my foundation is on my face, my base is done. I'm not going to put any lipstick on because I really do not want to wear lipstick all day. I'm going to go ahead and set my face in place. I'm going to set my face in place with the setting spray that I would usually use if I were to wear my foundation or a makeup look for 8 hours plus. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is one of the Diddy sample ones that I got from Big Beauty Day Out last year that I'm trying to use up. Now that my face is all in place, I'm gonna go away and get on with the rest of my day and obviously keep this foundation on for 8 hours. So the time now is 12:54 in the afternoon, not AM. So let's just call it about 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna have this foundation on until obviously 9 o'clock this evening. I need to do quite a bit today, so I need to go out. I'm gonna go for a walk. It's quite sunny outside, so I'm probably gonna end up sweating. I know that sounds lovely, but you know, we wanna see how well it works in normal day-to-day life. I'm probably gonna clean a little bit of the flat as well. I've got clothes that need to sort, so once again, I'm gonna be doing some heavy duty work. So let's see how well this foundation lasts. I'm gonna come back in and do regular check-ins so you can see how well both sides have worn throughout the day, and I guess I'll see you then. This foundation has now been on for an hour. As you can see from this side, which is the original Photo Focus foundation, it's sunk into my dry patches under my nose here. This side hasn't, which is the new dewy one. Also, I found that under my eye, this side, which is the normal Photo Focus, has creased a lot more than this side, which is the new dewy one. So all in all, I think both sides pretty much look okay, not too bad. This one is still just as dewy, which is really good. I kind of want this to last like this for the rest of the day. This is what it looks like after an hour, and I'll check in again to give you another update very soon. This foundation has now been on for 2 hours, and this is what it looks like. There isn't much change from an hour ago. This side looks a lot more drying on my skin than this side. So this is the dewy one, this is the normal one. If you're wondering what these are under my eyes, this is from my glasses, so just ignore those little bits there. Overall, there's nothing really different to report on from the previous check-in, so I'm going to check in again in another couple of hours and let you know if there's any change. Halfway through the check-in now, so this foundation has now been on for 4 hours, and obviously we've got 4 more hours left. This is how it's looking at the moment. Not much change since the last check-in 2 hours ago. Still quite drying on this side, which is expected because that's normally what happens to the regular photo focus. However, this side, I mean, it's not really sunk into any dry patches at all, which is a good thing. It seems to like my dry skin a lot better than the original one. Overall, I don't think the two sides look that much different, especially when you've got like a full face of makeup on. But based on the fact that this one hasn't sunk into my dry patches, I'd probably use this as more of my everyday foundation. Definitely gives a nice dewy glowy look without drying my skin out too much. So I'll check back in another 2 hours and update you. This foundation has now been on for 6 hours, so we've only got 2 hours left of wearing it, and this is currently what it looks like. Once again, not a lot of major change. I would say that this side has gone a little bit more drying into my dry patches. Obviously this has only come after 6 hours, whereas that one was pretty much within an hour. It just looked very mattifying and drying. However, I think it's pretty much worn really nicely. Still makes my skin look really nice. So yeah, not much of a change, but I'll check back in another 2 hours for my final 8-hour check-in. Okay, so this is my final check-in. So this foundation has now been on for 8 hours, and this is what it looks like. Overall, it hasn't really changed that much over the course of the day. Obviously, it goes without saying, as I've said in my previous check-ins, this one is a lot more drying on my skin, which is the original photo focus, than the dewy one, so I definitely would use the dewy one a lot more. I feel like it wears nicely on my dry skin, and it works really well with my dry skin. However, I think the coverage has pretty much stayed the same. There's not been any like dramatic changes. It hasn't really separated that much either, which is good for a drugstore foundation. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. I'll probably end up using the dewy one again 110%, because I just think it looks really nice on my skin. Obviously it's worn really well. Like, this has been on for 8 hours and this is still what the dewy foundation looks like. So overall, definite thumbs up from me. So I really hope that you did enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you did, then don't forget to smash it a big massive thumbs up, and once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, as I have got a giveaway coming very soon, which I know a lot of you will probably end up loving. Also, don't forget to tap my bell. Also, don't forget to tap the bell down below so you are notified every single time I post a new video, a little bit like this one. I tend to do foundation reviews quite a bit, as they're one of my favourites to do. Once again, thank you so incredibly much for watching. I really hope that you did enjoy. Stay safe, stay sane, and look after yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!